2 weeks away from Lions training camp, and we're all getting really excited. We're all ready for real news, real information regarding our football team, putting last year away and get ready for a season in which a lot of us have a lot of hope and believe the Lions can potentially take that next step. So in today's video, it's all Goff all day. Why? There's a lot of articles about Jared Goff. So we're going to go ahead and go through those articles, give you my thoughts on it, and all of the above. But before we get into today's video, if you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That's all we do is on this bad boy is talk Detroit Lions from a fan as well as a former player perspective. Let's get this thing going. Now, Jared Goff getting a lot of bit of love as of late in the media, as well as fans alike when it comes to the way he played the game last year. Now, look, when we traded for Jared Goff, a lot of people said this guy's a mouth breather. This guy eats crayons. The dude was disrespected like beyond belief, literally naming him the worst quarterback of all time, a throwaway. A lot of us that are dealing with the Detroit Lions on a daily basis says that's way over-exaggerating. He is not that bad. He's a pretty good quarterback. He will be fine with the Detroit Lions. And long and behold, he is. He was exactly that. He's been good for the Lions. Now, I don't know if a lot of people expect him to be as good as he is or if your expectation is a little bit about the same. But that's how he was last year and 2 years ago. He didn't have any weapons. He was bad. But guess what? Jared Goff is getting some love from the fans. He's getting love from the media alike for standing in the pocket, delivering the football. If anybody watched Jared Goff before he was a Detroit Lion, that's what he did anyways. And he even played in a playoff game with a surgery done to his finger just a week before. He actually won the game. So the guy has always been a tough player, regardless of what you think about him. He's tough. He is a guy that stands in the pocket, will take the hit. And a lot of people got won over this year over the Detroit Lions. Says Goff rarely get a single vote over his past 3 seasons, but this year he appeared in 25% of the ballots after leading Detroit 9 wins, thanks part to his 29-7 touchdown interception ratio. Jeremy Fowler getting a lot of love here. He ranked 3rd in the NFL to the blitz, standing in the pocket, just showing some love for Jared Goff doing his thing. He stood tall in there and did his thing. And he deserves the love there because he's always been like that. Even when he was a Ram, he stands in the pocket, will deliver the football. He will take the hit. He's not a mobile guy. He's not going to run around the world. He's not afraid. He's going to take the hit. He's going to deliver the football. So it's nice to see him getting some love out there from people who may not have known that about him before he was a Detroit Lion or did not know that until they watched the game as him as a Lion. What's good about Jared Goff, he's really good if he has time in the pocket, just like any other quarterback. And he's got a great offensive line with the ability to stand there and take it. So unlike the Rams, he actually has a legit offensive line that can get it done. And so he does deserve praise for that. He will stand in the pocket with the Detroit Lions. Next is talking about Jared Goff contract extension negotiation with the Lions, the most important at his position in the NFL. They're saying the upcoming contract extension negotiation, Jared Goff is important for the Detroit Lions, but it's the most important for the quarterback in the entire league. Because why is this? First off, if you're a fan of the NFL, you already know this. When a quarterback gets an extension, it sets the market for everybody else. So that's why someone like myself and other people look at other contract extensions for quarterbacks, and you kind of hope it's get a little bit worse than what you expect. They don't get as much as you want because you know it's going to set the market for the next guy. Daniel Jones was a quarterback I was watching last year, big league, in regards to his contract extension. He got overpaid, in my opinion. What does that mean for the Lion? There's a chance that Jared Goff is going to demand more, as he should demand more, because he is a better quarterback, in my opinion, than Daniel Jones. And so, fans who know that Goff's contract is coming up, whether it be a Lions fan or a fan from another fan base, is looking to see what he gets. So if their respected quarterback on their respected team is coming up with the contract extension, they're watching it. Big time. Goff, however, is next in line for an above-average quarterback who will create difficult decisions for club balancing between fear and letting a good thing go and the unknown. It is a fear. Do you give Jared Goff a contract extension, overpay, in their opinion, overpay, lock him down, so you're locking your quarterback down, but you're also removing funds away from other players, or do you let him walk and do you go with Hendon Hooker? And if you're a fan from another team, what does he get? All things that are involved there. For me, he should get above Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones is overpaid. So there's a little bit of fear there for me at the amount of money he gets, because you don't want to just put all the cap into one player, resulting in, you get your quarterback, but then there's talent that's less around him. That's something that every team has to deal with in the NFL, basically, and there's no fear there. No different for the Lions and Jared Goff. I don't think the Lions need to extend him this year. I think this is something that they have to think about next year. Something they need to worry about next year. Let this season play out before you do that. There is other quarterbacks that's coming up here, and it just says right there, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Oh, yeah, there's plenty coming up. Patrick Mahomes at some point probably get renegotiated, even though he's the best quarterback in the NFL. It just always messes with that market. Personally, I'm not going to lie to you. I believe that quarterbacks should have their own cap hit, instead of going with the team, because it's getting ridiculous at this point. When you look at all the money that quarterbacks get in the NFL, it really hurts your team. So this is something that you got to watch. But some fans believe he may take a hometown discount. I don't think he'll take a hometown discount. I don't think he's going to be difficult or anything like that. I think he's definitely a relaxed individual that would put the team first and all there, but he's going to want to get paid just like you'd want to get paid at your job, just like I want to get paid at my job. We all want to get paid. There's nothing wrong with the player wanting money. Actually, I have no issue with Jared Goff wanting whatever he wants to get as a player. And as a human being, he's going to want to get the most. He wants to get the maximized deal just like anyone else on this planet. So I don't know what he's going to get if he does re-sign with the Lions after this year. $40+ million a year. That seems like that's going to be what it is as these contracts continue to go up. And just think, though, it is a lot. It sounds like a lot. Just wait till you see what everybody else starts to get. The Joe Burrows, the Justin Herberts. And it's just going to continue to balloon until at some point they got to figure it out. They definitely do. Question here from Pride of Detroit. Lions quarterback Jared Goff is a dark horse for MVP per former NFL coach Chuck Pagano. Now, I've been asked this question multiple times. Is Jared Goff an MVP candidate for the NFL? It is really difficult for me to say something like that. There is a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, just to name two, that are extremely good. Extremely good. You can look at multiple quarterbacks that I think is above Jared Goff on their football team. It's not bad about Goff at all. It's not dissing him at all. There are just some really elite quarterbacks out there that mean a lot. And it's hard for me to see Jared Goff be a dark horse MVP, even though his stats are pretty good last year, and I think they'll be probably the same or a little bit better this year. But you're looking at game-changing quarterbacks that mean everything to their team more than what our quarterback means to our team. What I'm trying to say is the quarterback makes their team because they don't have much as weapons as we do, maybe because of their contract like we just talked about, or they're just that much of a stud. Like if you take Patrick Mahomes out of Kansas City, do a lot of people think that they're Super Bowl contenders? It's hard to believe. If you take Josh Allen over there out of the Buffalo Bills, even though he didn't have the greatest season last year, are they as good as what they are? Jalen Hurts, etc. So it's hard for me to say that. And then plus, when you're talking about accolades, we all know this. It's a popularity contest, like the Pro Bowl, something like MVP. It's hard for me to believe that Jared Goff would be in that consideration, even just for that fact. MVP for the Lions football team, I could see something like that. Maybe comes in as an outstanding season. Plus, the quarterback is always, to me, is the most important player on a team. If you got a great one, you win. If you got a dope one, you lose. So the quarterback position is extremely important. But could it be MVP race extension? And Pagano says the weapons are here. The offensive line is great, and the storylines are incredible. If he delivers a home playoff game to Detroit, I don't see how he couldn't be in the league MVP. Look, if he wins a home playoff game in Detroit, I'm going to be ecstatic. And I don't know about being MVP, but he would do something that Stafford didn't do. He'd do something that we haven't been done in a long time, win a home playoff game, win the NFC North. I give him mad love for that. If he comes in and wins a home playoff game, wins the NFC North, wins a home playoff game, you got to give him his credit. Even though he may not be the most talented quarterback in the NFL or Matthew Stafford arm, he just does his job and he's efficient and he wouldn't be turning the football over. That's exactly what that means. So I don't know about that. I think that's a little bit overrated. Him to be the team MVP or the NFL MVP. That's my personal opinion, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that he is a dark horse to be NFL MVP? I just don't really see it that at that point. There's other players that I would put ahead of him, unless there's some crazy injuries or these players absolutely just fall off a cliff, and which is possible. We've seen it. Like I said, Josh Allen didn't have the greatest year last year, even though it was still a good year. He just didn't have the greatest one. So it's happened, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. With that said, folks, adios.